Welcome to the Wes-Del Sports Network Coaches Show. Here's your host, John McLaughlin.
Welcome to the Coaches Show. I'm Coach McLaughlin. Welcome back for another week, Coach Burkett, and we're going to have a lot to talk about this week. A busy past week for you, and then an exciting week coming up this week for not only just Wes-Del, but as county goes. Here in general, basketball is always a fun time of year. We got our county snow in that we get
yes,
every year.
Did.
It seems to happen. We'll probably expect our sectional snow later this year, but let's rewind a little bit before we talk about what's coming up this week and talk about a few games. We packed in several games here in a short period of time since we talked last. Started out last weekend with 2 home games. Southwood, a good Southwood team with a loaded group of seniors that come in and a really good player. And then they back that up with a Tri-Central win. Let's talk about Southwood first, your takeaways from that game.
Yeah, I thought, honestly, if we would have finished a few more of our open shots, we felt pretty confident, actually, after the game was over that, they're the sectional favorites. I think that was coming in. Everybody kind of figured that, and after playing them, I would say they're the sectional favorites. They're the only team in our sectional that I know that has a kid that's going to college, play ball, and he's going to St. Francis. He's 6'8". Obviously a good player, tough to handle, can shoot outside, but is playing more inside, which is good for them, not good for everybody else that has to play them. But we can't give up offensive rebounds like we did. We got to shoot it better. But we felt like when we stayed within our game plan in the first 3 quarters, we battled, and we did a decent job. The third quarter, we could have won by 6 or 7 points, but we ended up only winning by 2. We've got to finish quarters better, but the fourth quarter, we got out of our game plan completely. We just wanted to try some different things, see what would work, turn up the pressure a little bit. But they do a good job of throwing it up to their 6'8" kid, and he catches the ball well and finishes well. Obviously, like 3 dunks, I think, in that game. But we feel like we learned some things that we can use in March when sectional time rolls around.
Yeah, and I thought there were spurts where we played really well.
Yeah.
And, it's a good team, and we don't want to always continue to chalk it up to young players, but when you're playing an established program and team like that, and you have some youth, there's going to be a learning curve, and it's nice to be able to play that team now and get that learning curve out of the way and watch those guys grow a little bit and then go into, your sectional game plan maybe with a different plan or no surprises because you've already seen those and you don't have to worry about that because I did think we played well at times and, chalk that up to getting better as we go, and also just youth on the times where we weren't playing well. I thought some of that was just, like you said, we missed some open shots too.
Yeah.
We had shots that just weren't falling. So.
Yeah, and sometimes it's easy to get discouraged in those moments, but honestly, in the locker room after the game, our guys felt good. We felt good about what we can do moving forward. We felt like we could compete with them after that second half that we had, especially that third quarter.
That took us into a Tri-Central, so you come off of a tough game, but you get to bounce right back and play Tri-Central, which happens a lot of times in high school basketball. No time to kind of pout or sit around. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. And Tri-Central comes in, and we did a nice job of handling business that night.
Yes, we did. It's probably one of the most complete games that we've played all season. We ran the floor well, got ahead of the ball so we could throw it ahead. I think sometimes we try to dribble it coast to coast, and that's a lot slower than if somebody gets ahead and just throwing it ahead. So we've been talking a lot about that. We also had just like leading into this week, we had a lot more conditioning involved, like just winners and losers, not just lining up and running for no reason, but winners and losers and competitiveness and practice. And I think it paid off for our weekend games. And, Tri-Central's going through some injuries. They're not going to look the same when we play them. If we see them in sectionals, they'll look a little different because they were missing their big guy.
Yeah.
And he's a load down there, but I don't think he's a 30-point guy.
Right.
Difference in a game. So I feel like we just really played a complete game against Tri-Central, and it felt really good the way that we played.
And then going into this week, of course, County Week, we knew early, and it's one of the benefits that I do enjoy that our county does the draw so early, that we knew that we had the bye. So that allowed us to make up the Monroe Central game that we lost earlier in the year due to weather. We were a little shorthanded going into that game against a good team on the road. So takeaways from the Monroe Central game, you kind of a weird time, too, in the middle of the week. I know several teams do that, but it's also County Week and the way that whole played out.
Yeah, like you said, we had some guys out.
Yeah.
Eli's been sick, so we didn't have him at all in that game. And honestly, I got a text in the morning, Brecken might not make it in. I thought, oh, no, we're not going to have a post man to guard their big guy, and their big guy can be a problem. Also, their rebounding. Offensive rebounding is their best offense. And if they're making threes because of the inside-out action, because they're post guys, we have to give so much attention to. And so they started off getting a bunch of offensive rebounds against us. I think our stats, it's not good, but about 60% offensive rebounds they got, of the offensive rebounds they got. That's not good enough. You're not going to win games like that. We didn't shoot it super well. We missed a lot of open threes, open inside shots. That's kind of been something that we're working on. We got to get better at, more consistent. We saw it all on film. Like, we got good looks. I felt like our offense looked good. Defensively, we were pretty good, but we couldn't finish out a possession with a defensive rebound, which killed us, and we turned it over too much. Yep. So I think we had 40% turnover percentage. That's too high to win against good teams. They're a good team. So, we feel like if we play a better game against them, if we see them again, maybe in a regional or something like that, we can definitely be much more competitive.
Yeah, and not only were you down a little bit, and we as coaches know this. You hear people in the stands yelling, hey, you got to rebound. You got to grab those rebounds. We know when we look at those, that's extra possessions. That's extra shots. So not only does it hurt to not be able to grab those rebounds, but that's an extra shot that the other team's getting that we don't get. And like you said, that plays into the throughout the, duration of the game. That's going to play into a lot of extra shots against a good team. So you might be solid defensively, like you said, but if you can't grab that rebound, that's just an extra shot for the other team, and it piles up at the end. Yeah,
it's demoralizing and adds more pressure on your offense, too, because it's really important you score so that when you take those shots, there's more pressure on your shots. Yeah. We always talk about, we got to put pressure on other teams' offenses by playing good offense and scoring. You got to put the ball through the hoop, because if you play with a lead or you play close, it's a little harder for them to make shots. If they're up 10, it's easier to make those shots because there's a lot less pressure. You miss it, okay, you're up 10 still. All you got to do is get a stop, and you can run some more offense.
Right. That leads us into always exciting time to get Delaware County tournament. So now we get to head over to that, what do they call it? I always enjoy the fact that it's supposed to be a neutral site. It's always the neutral site of Delta. But we get to go over there and play Delta on their neutral court. And might be the only time we get to. I don't know if we wear the home or aways on this, but
we actually are wearing aways.
Okay, so
it'll feel like a true road game.
It'll feel like a true road game. A good Delta team who didn't have any trouble the other night against Cowan, but nevertheless, always fun to play those county rivals. I always enjoyed playing at Delta, and I always enjoyed kind of stepping up and playing the bigger schools.
Yeah, and don't let Delta's record fool you.
They're a good team.
They have played good teams. Yes. They're younger than they have been in the past couple of years, but they play good teams. Right. I mean, and they've been close. And so, like the Southside team, the Fort Wayne Southside team hit a three-pointer at the buzzer to win the game against them, and that team's undefeated this year, and they're really athletic. Well, I watched that game online because WMUN was there, but they're going to be a good team. They're going to be in your face. They have a lot of confidence, and so we've got to match that intensity, match that confidence, and go out and show what we can do like what we do in practice. We make shots in practice, and we talked about it after the game against Monroe Central. But you guys can shoot. Some of you guys can really shoot the ball. You've got to just shoot it like that in a game. You got to shoot with confidence in a game, and so we got to have some carryover from practice to games and be in the fight.
Well, good luck. Like I said, enjoy that. I think those are memories the kids always have. I know you probably remember your Delaware County tournaments. I always enjoyed coaching in those. Enjoy it, and then let's move on and keep piling up those next few weeks as the dog days, we say, of the season keep going on. Let's keep getting out there and working and pile up some wins.
Yeah, that's the plan.